It's so good to have you here with me. I have got a very short and sweet, but very important episode for you today. I wanted to talk to you about your resentment price because this is where people go wrong. You know, everyone's looking for, like, what's the pricing formula that's right for me? And they're very caught up in, like, just looking at pricing in terms of what's the pricing formula, but there's other things that you need to take into consideration. And a lot of more established business owners kind of struggle with this. And that is knowing what your resentment price is. So, I don't have a one size fits all formula, believe it or not, for my clients in the Jewelry Business Academy when it comes to pricing. We have a pricing framework that is very clear and it makes sure, like, we're looking at all the costs of goods sold, everything like that. We're looking at if they're doing wholesale, we're looking at margins. And at the same time, through this framework, I encourage all of my clients to adjust their margins depending on what the purpose of their businesses, depending on how much time pieces are taking, depending on a lot of different factors. So every single client of mine has slightly different formula, if you want to call it, for pricing, but the framework is the same. And here's where a lot of people struggle is, especially more established jewelry designers who've maybe been making pieces for a few years, and they a lot of people underprice their designs, especially when they're getting started, which, hey, it's not the end of the world, but it's not something that's sustainable long term. But when you've significantly underpriced your pieces, at some point or another, it's going to catch up to you. And it's going to catch up to you in the terms of you're going to start feeling resentful towards your business. You're going to start feeling resentful when you have to make those pieces. And that is a sign that something needs to change. So if you are at that point where you're like, when you get an order, it's not like, oh my gosh, yay, I'm excited. If you're getting orders and you feel like internally sighing, like, and slightly resenting having to make and package and ship this order, it tells me that, okay, there could be a few factors at play here. I definitely want to put that out there. There could be multiple things at play, but essentially it's telling me that I think you are selling at your resentment price. And so we need to relook at that and we need to up that. And that's where there is no formula. That's where it requires you getting clear on, like, okay, why am I feeling resentful? Like, what is it here? Because often it is going to be the price. Maybe it's that there's elements that you don't enjoy. Maybe it's a design we need to cut, but often it's at the wrong price point. And over time, that resentment is going to turn into resentment towards your business. And it's going to often, it leads to a lot of people quitting their jewelry businesses. And all it requires is a simple price increase and having that price increase communicated to your customers in a way that they understand it, they feel good about it, they feel excited to buy at the new price point. All very doable with the right communication, with being open and honest, with treating your customers like real people, not like you're some big corporation sending out a price increase notice. So I really want to encourage you to take some time to think about, like, how do you feel when you get orders coming in? How do you feel? Is there certain pieces that you dread getting orders for? Because let's face it, like, that, I know a lot of people hate to admit this, but there always are some pieces where you just dread it. And that's a sign something needs to change. And maybe it's the price. Maybe that design needs to be cut. Maybe it's the materials. Maybe we need to, refine somewhere along the process what's going on there. Maybe we need to outsource parts of the process. Again, if we're outsourcing, price is increasing. So, I want to encourage you to look at how you feel for the next week with all the orders that come in. And based on that, really look at, is the pricing, do I feel good about this pricing? Now, I do want to clarify for anyone who's like a new designer listening to this, that it's all very well saying that, you want a price above your resentment price. But if you come off the bat charging 20 times what the market value of that piece is, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to resent your business because you're not going to get sales. It's a fine balance, it's a fine balance. And so it is possible to charge, I like to say charge your worth, but also recognize like, hey, you have to fit within that market value as well. So don't come off the gate if you're listening to this as a new designer and 20 times the market value of that product because that's your resentment price. That's going to make it really hard for you to build momentum in your business. It's going to make it really hard for you to start generating sales and getting feedback and getting customers and building your community. And I'm not saying don't sell high ticket pieces if you're doing high ticket. I'm all for high ticket. I mean, I have clients selling high ticket at like from $2,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 per piece in their first year. And that's very doable, but they're selling it at a similar price range to what those pieces are worth in the market. And they're not off the bat being like, hey, this 20,000 piece, I'm going to price it 40,000. That's not how it works. So I do just want nobody to take this message out of context. Context is important. But you're being resentful towards your business is a killer for you and for your business. And we just want to also be mindful that your resentment price will change over time. So maybe right now you're feeling really good. You feel really energized when you get orders. And I love that. I love when you're in a season where things are in flow. But over time, things change. Maybe your circumstances in life change. Maybe you have a baby. Maybe you have a family. Maybe you get a pet dog. Maybe suddenly you decide to take up some kind of hobby that requires more time and you don't have as much time to spend in your business. Maybe you get so many orders that you actually can only do so many a day. And now you're feeling a little frazzled. That's when we increase the price. That's when we look at like, okay, well, now I'm feeling resentful at this price point, or, and now this doesn't feel so exciting to me anymore. That's when we increase the price, or we hire team members to help and support you at that point. But again, when you're hiring that team, it generally is also going to require the price to go up. And when it comes to price increases, keep in mind it all comes down to communication. It's all marketing, and it's all talking to your customers like they're real humans, like they're friends, and being open and being honest and giving them a heads up, and not just suddenly having these prices that have jumped out of nowhere with no warning. That doesn't build trust. So keep that in mind. And if you are feeling unconfident with your pricing, if you're feeling like you're just not on the right path and you'd like me to take a look at your pricing with you and look at your pieces and help you come up with the right price point for your pieces and help you implement the right framework, then you are more than welcome to come and join me in the Jewelry Business Academy. You can head to jewelrybusinessacademy.ca to learn more, and you can go ahead and book in a free strategy call with one of my team as well. And I'll see you on the other side. On the other side, we're going to have lots of group coaching calls every single week. We are going to be connecting in our Facebook community. We're going to have a one-on-one strategy call together. And you're going to have my eyes on your business pretty much every single week, helping and supporting and guiding you as you grow. So it's a very, very supportive place. And if you are ready for that, feel free to head to the website, go there now and book in your call, and I'll see you on the other side. So I'm going to keep this episode short and sweet. I think I want to kind of alternate with like longer ones and shorter power ones for when you just have like 5-10 minutes and you're just needing a pep talk or needing some motivation. And then we'll have the longer ones for when you're working in your studio and you have more headspace and time to listen to them. So stay tuned for our next episode. And as always, thank you for being here.